President Trump heading to Pennsylvania today to discuss his administration's efforts to make America affordable again, with many Americans still concerned over the state of the economy. But there is some positive news to report. AAA reports the national gas average has fallen below $3 a gallon, down nearly 20 cents from when the president took office, and below $3 for the first time in 4 years. Joining me now is chief economist at the Heritage Foundation, E.J. Antoni. E.J., good morning. It's great to see you. So gas prices are certainly a bright spot when it comes to the economy, but cumulative inflation that has taken root since 2021 is certainly something that all Americans are feeling today. So what can the president do to successfully tackle this issue?
Well, I think he needs to continue to do his deregulatory agenda, his tax cut agenda. These are things that are going to have a real impact on consumers' paychecks, and it's going to have a real impact on what those paychecks can actually buy. We saw, for example, just recently the reforms to CAFE standards, where we're not going to impose these ridiculous regulations saying that basically everyone is going to be forced to drive an electric car in just a few years. That would have pushed up costs dramatically for consumers. The administration has rolled back those Biden-era regulations. That will put downward pressure on prices. Additionally, by allowing Americans to keep more of their paychecks, obviously that's going to increase what those paychecks can buy. We'll see more of that in 2026 as a result of the One Big Beautiful Bill. So the administration is definitely heading in the right direction. And sure enough, we have actually seen wage growth this year outpace inflation. Today, the average American's weekly paycheck buys about 1% more than it did back in January. Now, to your point, that does not erase the 4% loss that those paychecks suffered in real or inflation-adjusted terms since 2021. So the administration clearly still has more work to do, but we are moving in the right direction to clean up the mess that the Biden administration and the radical left left behind.
Yeah, and something that Scott Bessent is certainly honing in on is just that, the wage growth, so people don't feel the effects of that cumulative inflation any more than they do right now. You said that it's at a 1% increase. If the Trump administration could increase that even more, that would certainly be better ahead of the midterm elections. How do they go about doing that?
I think they need to continue pushing the current agenda, which is going to be things like reducing the cost of home ownership, reducing gas prices. Energy is a really big component to this whole equation. As people, especially this time of year, see Amazon delivery vans driving around their neighborhood, what's going into all of those vans? Either gasoline or diesel. In other words, you start bringing down the cost of fuel. You're not just bringing down the cost for the consumer to fill their own vehicle every week, although that's certainly true, but you're also reducing costs for businesses. Those are costs that all get passed on to the consumer, and likewise savings end up getting passed on to the consumer in the form of lower prices. So you put downward pressure on energy prices, you put downward pressure on prices throughout the economy. Likewise with home ownership, that's the biggest part of the typical consumer's monthly budget. So you get that monthly mortgage payment down, again, you will save costs for Americans. And just for some perspective here, the monthly mortgage payment on a median price home literally doubled under the Biden administration. So that's a key area where we need to continue to make progress.
Well, the Federal Reserve is going to begin its two-day policy meeting today, where it's expected to announce another interest rate cut tomorrow. And Fox Business is reporting markets widely expect a 25 basis point interest rate cut, which would mark the third straight meeting with a rate cut, though expectations have shifted over time. What does all of this mean for the American consumer?
Well, I think we need to focus not just on the rate cut, but also what they do with the balance sheet. And I know that that's a much more technical aspect of it here, but we have to be concerned with that, because as the Fed grows the balance sheet, which we can expect them to start doing, by the way, in the coming months, the problem there is that it is essentially creating money. In other words, the Fed is running the printing press, and it's very troubling that they might be going back to that, because that was a key component to what gave us the massive inflation we saw under the Biden administration. And so that's going to essentially be at loggerheads with the Trump administration's effort to put downward pressure on prices. So we want to focus not just on what they do with their benchmark interest rate, but also what they do with the balance sheet, because real market rates don't always move with the Fed's interest rate. In other words, what we saw this time a year ago was the Fed cutting their benchmark interest rate. But what happened to interest rates in the real world? The interest rate, or the yield on treasuries, rose, and the monthly mortgage, the 30-year mortgage rate also rose. So again, we need to focus not just on that headline news of the interest rate. We also have to focus on what the Fed is doing kind of behind the scenes.
Chief Economist at the Heritage Foundation, E.J. Antoni, we thank you so much for your time on this very important topic.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.